It wasn't entirely a surprise as the princess arrived with the prince at the Royal Albert Hall. She had always made it clear this was a weekend she wanted to attend. What happens when a 5-year-old royal with a mischievous streak takes center stage during a live Christmas carol service? Chaos, charm, and a lot of laughs. Prince Louis stole the spotlight at Westminster Abbey when he grabbed Queen Camilla's microphone mid-speech, leaving the audience stunned and the Queen consort momentarily speechless. But what did this little prince expose about the royal family in that unforgettable moment, the grand Christmas concert at Westminster Abbey, a symbol of British history and tradition, stood illuminated, ready to say goodbye to another year. The Abbey, adorned with festive garlands of pine and holly, glowed with the warm light of countless candles. At the center of it all stood a towering Christmas tree glittering with gold and silver ornaments, its branches holding small tokens of gratitude from attendees, decorations bearing the names of those who had shown kindness and empathy throughout the year. The scene was set for an evening of reflection, tradition, and royal elegance. Yet unbeknownst to everyone, a mischievous little prince was about to turn this poised and graceful affair into a night to remember. The carol service, organized by Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales and supported by the Royal Foundation, was a heartfelt celebration of community and compassion, honoring individuals whose acts of kindness had uplifted others in their families, workplaces, or communities. Among the 1,600 guests were healthcare workers, volunteers, and other unsung heroes who embodied the spirit of giving. With its themes of love and empathy, the service sought to shine a light on the importance of human connection, especially during challenging times. As the congregation settled into the Abbey's hallowed pews, the Dean of Westminster, the Very Reverend Dr. David Hall, welcomed everyone with words of gratitude and hope. The choir's angelic harmonies filled the sacred space, accompanied by the majestic tones of the organ. Musical performances from renowned artists such as Gregory Porter, Palomar Faith, and Olivia Dean wove a magical thread of melody through the evening. The Christmas story unfolded in readings, from the Prince of Wales's solemn delivery of Isaiah 9 to Adam P.'s heartfelt reading of Luke 2. Each moment was steeped in tradition and meaning, a reflection of the event's significance. At the heart of it all, the royal family took their places with grace and composure, or at least most of them did. King Charles III and Queen Camilla lent gravitas to the occasion, while Prince George and Princess Charlotte displayed poise beyond their years, assisting with hymns and leading carols alongside their mother. But amidst the solemnity, Prince Louis, the youngest and most spirited member of the royal family, had other ideas. The 5-year-old prince entered the abbey with his characteristic impish grin and boundless energy, drawing warm smiles from those who recognized his now famous mischievous streak. Clad in a tailored navy coat, he waved enthusiastically at familiar faces and whispered to his siblings, seemingly unaffected by the formal atmosphere around him. While the spotlight was initially shared among the performers, readers, and the royal family as a whole, it soon became clear that Louis had plans of his own to steal the show. As the evening progressed, the abbey radiated a sense of peace and unity, reflecting the event's themes of togetherness and hope. Yet it was Prince Louis who infused the atmosphere with an unexpected dose of spontaneity. Observing the proceedings with wide-eyed curiosity, he seemed less interested in the choir's harmonies or the moving speeches and more intrigued by the gleaming microphone at the lectern, a symbol of authority he clearly felt deserved a turn in his hand. The gathering was filled with memorable moments, readings from Michelle Dockery, Sophie Okonedo, and Richard E. Grant, and a graceful ballet performance to John Rutter's Colors of Christmas. Yet despite the formality of the setting, there was an unmistakable anticipation of something unpredictable. Perhaps it was the lively energy Prince Louis carried, or perhaps it was the shared understanding that even in the most solemn royal events, moments of humanity often shine through. Humanity would indeed be delivered by the smallest royal in the room. As the evening moved toward Queen Camilla's address, the stage was set for a poignant reflection on togetherness. However, before anyone could fully absorb the gravity of the moment, Louis decided it was his time to make an unforgettable contribution. How could anyone have predicted that in a room filled with dignitaries, acclaimed performers, and royalty, it would be a 5-year-old prince who would transform a traditional carol service into an event that no one would forget, a night of royal charm? The grand doors of Westminster Abbey opened wide as the royal family made their entrance. Each step was measured, each presence commanding attention. The procession carried an undeniable weight of tradition. Led by King Charles III and Queen Camilla, their arrival marked the beginning of an evening steeped in reverence and festivity. The king walked with quiet dignity, his presence embodying the continuity of a monarchy that has weathered centuries of history. By his side, Queen Camilla radiated poise, her emerald coat a subtle nod to the season's warmth and vibrancy. Together, they set the tone for the occasion, their gravitas underscoring the importance of this cherished event. The Prince and Princess of Wales followed closely, embodying a blend of grace and relatability that has become their hallmark. Princess Kate, the vision behind the Together at Christmas Carol service, wore an elegant ensemble befitting her role as the evening's host. With a warm smile, she exchanged greetings with familiar faces in the congregation, her presence a reminder of the evening's focus on community and compassion. Prince William, ever composed, walked beside her, nodding graciously to guests as they took their seats. Yet, it was their children who truly captured the attention of those present, each in their own unique way. Prince George, the eldest, displayed a confidence that belied his young age. As the future king, he already carried himself with a quiet assurance, stepping forward to assist with hymn sheets and greet attendees. His demeanor was thoughtful, a reflection of the lessons in responsibility and service instilled in him from an early age. Princess Charlotte, ever poised and attentive, walked hand in hand with her mother, her curiosity evident as she gazed around the abbey's grand interior. When the time came to join the carols, Charlotte sang with enthusiasm, her clear voice blending seamlessly with the choir's angelic harmonies. Her engagement in the evening's proceedings brought a sense of sincerity and warmth that touched everyone in attendance, and then there was Prince Louis, the youngest of the three. Louis entered with his signature impish grin and a spark of mischief in his eyes. Dressed in a perfectly tailored navy coat, he waved enthusiastically to familiar faces and whispered animatedly to his siblings, his excitement barely contained. While George and Charlotte seemed to embody the composed image expected of royal children, Louis brought a playful energy to the group. His presence was a reminder that, even in the grandeur of a royal event, the innocence of childhood shines through. His restless charm quickly became a talking point among the guests, many of whom watched him with amused anticipation. As the family took their seats, the focus shifted to Queen Camilla, whose role in the evening carried special significance. Her planned address on holiday togetherness and the enduring power of empathy was eagerly awaited. Camilla had spent years navigating her evolving position within the monarchy, and moments like these allowed her to connect with the public on a deeply personal level. Her words, carefully chosen, were expected to resonate with themes of unity and resilience, qualities that felt especially poignant during the holiday season. Unforgettable moment of spontaneity, leaving everyone from the dignitaries in attendance to those watching from home wondering how this charmingly unpredictable prince would forever change the course of the evening. The unexpected act by Prince Louis came just as Queen Camilla rose to deliver her much-anticipated address. The abbey grew quiet in respectful anticipation, the queen consort poised and regal, adjusted the microphone with a steady hand, preparing to speak about the importance of togetherness during the holiday season. The audience, captivated by the gravity of the moment, leaned in to hear her opening words, but not Louis. For him, the gleaming microphone at the lectern was an irresistible beacon, and in that split second, his curiosity triumphed over decorum. With the confidence only a child can master, Louis suddenly slipped from his seat and made his way to the lectern. The congregation froze, a collective gasp echoing through the grand space as the tiny prince reached up and confidently grasped the microphone. The astonishment on Queen Camilla's face was fleeting, replaced almost instantly by a warm smile as she stepped back to let him have his moment. Louis, now the unexpected center of attention, began to speak, though his words, while animated, were completely unintelligible. His little voice, full of excitement and wonder, filled the abbey in a way no one had anticipated. For a moment, the room teetered between shock and amusement, then slowly but surely, the tension gave way to laughter. Stifled chuckles turned into open smiles, and soon even the most formal of guests found themselves grinning at the impromptu performance. Louis, entirely unfazed by the ripple of amusement he had caused, gestured enthusiastically toward the audience, pointing at the decorations and mimicking the gestures of the choir conductor with exaggerated flair. Princess Charlotte pressed her hand to her mouth in an attempt to suppress her laughter, while George's exasperation melted into quiet amusement. From their seats, Prince William and Princess Kate exchanged looks, half amusement, half parental resignation, as they watched their youngest steal the show. Kate leaned toward William and whispered something that made him chuckle softly before she rose to gently guide Louis back to his seat. "Let's save your big speech for next time," Kate said with a soft smile as she took his hand. Louis hesitated, looking back at the microphone as if considering another attempt before finally relenting with a giggle that sent another wave of laughter through the crowd. Despite the interruption, Queen Camilla handled the moment with grace and humor. Once the microphone was hers again, she bent slightly and addressed Louis directly, saying, "Shall we let Granny Camilla have her turn now?" Her gentle tone and playful demeanor diffused any lingering awkwardness, turning the unexpected interruption into a moment of shared warmth. Louis, now seated once more, continued to hum softly to himself, swinging his legs as though nothing unusual had happened. The atmosphere in the Abbey transformed entirely. What had begun as a formal event steeped in tradition now carried an undeniable sense of light-heartedness and joy. The audience, initially taken aback, embraced the spontaneity of the moment, finding in Louis's antics a refreshing reminder of the unpredictability of life, even within the structured world of royalty. The service continued with renewed energy, but the memory of Louis's unscripted moment lingered, bringing smiles to faces long after the event concluded. But what does this light-hearted moment say about the evolving image of the monarchy? Queen Camilla's response to Louis's antics seemed to carry a deeper significance, offering a glimpse into the balance between tradition and modernity that defines the royal family today. Queen Camilla's composure in the face of this unplanned spectacle spoke volumes about her adaptability and relatability, qualities that have increasingly defined her role as queen consort. For years, Camilla's place within the monarchy had been scrutinized, and her every move was analyzed through a lens of history and expectation. Yet moments like these revealed a deeper truth about her character. She had grown into her role with grace, navigating its complexities with an understanding of when to uphold tradition and when to embrace spontaneity. Yet even as the spotlight turned toward the evening's formal proceedings, it was impossible to ignore the smallest royal in the room. Louis, seated alongside his siblings, initially appeared to be on his best behavior. He watched the choir with wide eyes and swung his legs idly, the perfect picture of youthful innocence. However, as the service unfolded, his boundless energy began to bubble to the surface, a whispered comment to Charlotte here, a quick glance toward the microphone there. It was clear that Louis's curiosity was beginning to take hold. Despite the solemnity of the occasion, the family interactions offered glimpses of their relatability. George, ever the responsible older brother, occasionally leaned over to exchange a quiet word with Louis, perhaps a gentle reminder to sit still. Charlotte, caught between amusement and a desire to maintain her composure, giggled softly at her younger brother's antics. Kate, seated just a seat away, kept a watchful eye, her expression a mix of maternal pride and anticipation for what Louis might do next. As Queen Camilla prepared to step forward for her address, the room awaited what was to come. The Abbey seemed to hold its collective breath. The ambience was serene, the voices of the choir still echoing softly in the background. The stage was perfectly set for a heartfelt reflection on the holiday spirit. Yet at that moment, a gleaming microphone on the lectern caught Louis's attention like a magnet. His eyes sparkled with curiosity, and he shifted in his seat, clearly contemplating something no one else could anticipate. What happened next would turn a formal royal event into an unforgettable moment. Tradition and knowing when to let modernity shine through was perfectly embodied in her reaction to Louis's antics, reminding the world that even in the most traditional of settings, humanity and humor have their place. While Milla's recovery was masterful, it was the family's collective dynamic during the incident that truly showcased their warmth and relatability. Princess Charlotte, seated beside Louis, tried to maintain her composure, but her barely suppressed giggles gave her away. She covered her mouth with her hand, her sparkling eyes betraying her amusement. Across from her, Prince George initially looked exasperated, as if silently willing his younger brother to sit still and behave. Yet even he couldn't resist the charm of Louis's impromptu performance, a small smile tugging at the corners of his lips. As Camilla resumed her speech, the Abbey seemed to settle into a new rhythm, the laughter and joy of the previous moment lingering like a warm glow. Her words, though carefully chosen, carried added weight, imbued with the authenticity of someone who had just demonstrated the very qualities she was speaking about: kindness, patience, and the importance of human connection. The audience, still smiling, listened intently, their engagement deepened by the unexpected turn of events that made this formal service feel profoundly personal. The evening continued, but the memory of Louis's unscripted moment lingered, adding a layer of warmth and spontaneity to an already meaningful event. This small act of childlike curiosity reminded everyone present, and those watching around the world, that even within the grandeur of tradition, there is room for laughter, lightheartedness, and a touch of the unexpected. As the service progressed, it became clear that this single moment had not only charmed the audience but also offered a unique insight into the evolving dynamics of the royal family. What does this tell us about how the monarchy is adapting to modern times? Moments of spontaneity help bridge the gap between tradition and relatability. For centuries, the monarchy has stood as a symbol of tradition and continuity, often veiled in an air of formality that separates it from everyday life. Yet moments like this, where the youngest members of the royal family display their unguarded innocence, serve as reminders that at their core, even they are a family like any other. Louis' antics, from his now famous Platinum Jubilee reactions to this impromptu display of curiosity, highlight an authenticity that resonates with the public. His unrestrained gestures and playful energy are not interruptions to royal events but rather enhancements, bringing a touch of lightheartedness to occasions steeped in solemnity. This relatability has become an essential component of the monarchy's survival in the modern world. In a time when institutions face increasing scrutiny, the royal family's ability to connect with people on a personal level has never been more important. Louis' moments of exuberance, while endearing in their own right, also play a role in bridging the gap between the formality of tradition and the realities of contemporary life. He offers a glimpse of the monarchy as a living, breathing family, one that laughs, teases, and occasionally faces the delightful chaos of raising young children. Louis' microphone moment echoes his Platinum Jubilee antics, where his expressive reactions to the flypast and his candid interactions with his family stole the show. On that balcony, he became a symbol of pure, unfiltered childhood, covering his ears dramatically at the sound of roaring jets, climbing onto his grandfather's lap, and pulling faces that ranged from awe to irritation. Louis showcased the unvarnished authenticity that audiences rarely see in royal life. His behavior captivated the world not because it detracted from the occasion but because it added an element of surprise and delight to an otherwise traditional event. These moments have also shed light on how the royal family manages their public image. Prince William and Princess Kate, in particular, have shown a remarkable ability to embrace these spontaneous moments, reinforcing their connection with the public and demonstrating that even within the institution of the monarchy, authenticity and modernity can coexist. The royal family has struck a careful balance between honoring royal protocol and allowing their children to express themselves. Their gentle guidance of Prince Louis during public events, never scolding or suppressing his natural exuberance, reflects a parenting style that values individuality while respecting the gravity of their roles. It is this balance that allows the family to maintain its dignity while also appearing approachable and modern. Queen Camilla's handling of Louis' unscripted moment further underscores the monarchy's adaptability. Her reaction, a seamless blend of humor, patience, and grace, demonstrated how the institution can embrace spontaneity without losing its composure. By leaning into the charm of the moment rather than resisting it, she not only diffused potential awkwardness but also reinforced the royal family's evolving image. Camilla's ability to navigate this dynamic, honoring tradition while embracing modern expectations, has become a hallmark of her role as queen consort. The broader implications of such moments extend beyond their immediate charm. They serve as reminders of the monarch's human side, often overshadowed by centuries-old traditions and protocols. In Louis' impromptu performance, the audience sees not just a young prince but also the very essence of childhood, a sense of curiosity, mischief, and joy that transcends social status or title. This relatability is a powerful tool in ensuring the monarchy remains relevant and cherished in a rapidly changing world. At the same time, these lighter moments provide a contrast to the gravity often associated with royal duties. They show that even amidst the weight of tradition, there is room for humor and authenticity. Louis' antics didn't detract from the evening's themes of community and compassion. Instead, they amplified them by reminding everyone present of the small, unexpected joys that bring people together. His actions symbolize the very essence of the evening, celebrating humanity in all its unpredictability and charm. As the royal family continues to navigate its role in the 21st century, such moments will likely play an increasingly important role in shaping public perception. They offer a refreshing counterbalance to the institution's formal image, ensuring it remains relatable and grounded. Louis, with his playful charisma, has become a key figure in this shift, a young royal whose antics remind the world that even the most traditional institutions can find joy and spontaneity. Prince Louis's playful moment reminds us that even the most formal traditions can have room for joy and authenticity. It's these little unscripted moments that make the royal family feel so relatable. Moments like these help modernize the monarchy while keeping its traditions alive.